crazy Timbersaw or something.
If there's a Dragon Knight against him, that might actually not.
What did he use earlier? Actually, didn't he break up the Storm Spirit earlier?
He did break up the Storm
yeah.
Spirit.
That's
Did win,
one of his
but
signature heroes from last
it wasn't
year,
because
so-
of the Storm, and I think
was casting that game too. So.
Yeah.
I think Storm might be too slow.
Okay. Draft is ready, so let's drop you into the draft right now and underway to see what bands we have early on. And we do have a first pick, which is a Beastmaster for Evil Geniuses.
Yeah, so same as last time. To come back to the core scenario, I think one of the biggest differences between HOW and AUI is that AUI is just spends way more time farming, spends way more time on the lane, while HOW, the moment that he can, try to get himself into the fights. So if they are indeed gonna put Sumail on a hero that Cap wants is more of a mid-carry core, and they can also put AUI on a core that starts fighting early. Is that a right way of thinking, Purge?
Fine. Just the problem last game was that they were kind of all in on just that one hero. I guess in some ways, Newbee wasn't as much. They had offlane Doom, which can kind of scale. They had mid Invoker, which can sort of scale, and they had Spectre, who's a hard carry. Whereas EG only had Sven on the safe lane, and then Puck mid, and their offlane was like Beastmaster. It's not as much carry potential, so I think that's why they felt more comfortable with Sven.
Tigger tried to get aggressive with Newbee, right?
Did they? I was casting a different game during that, so.
You guys
They
watched
did.
the secret game, right?
Yeah, it was
Just
actually.
looking from the heroes.
Because I was actually the person that also had to keep an eye on Complexity versus Liquid, and I might or might not have done that the whole time. Actually, no, because I watched. I mean,
wait, are you saying we have to turn to politics? All right, let's
Paul,
just abandon it. Let's
give
just
us your
abandon
expert
that. All right.
opinion
So-
on secret drafts.
No, so I actually am just curious to see. I'm trying to think from the games I've watched in Newbee when a team tried to outgreed Newbee and
Okay.
what happened with that.
So in the second game from Secret versus Newbee, the laning stage was actually won by Secret, but Newbee was very good at making sure that Secret couldn't get any kills out of it. So it was a very low kill count. Yeah, there was a bit of farm, but both teams obviously still knew how to get some farm, and it wasn't until they actually started fighting with the Husker that they picked up that they started getting ahead.
Well, here's a good early game fighting and carry. Life Stealer. He's pretty effective against Phoenix, since he can just enrage during the Sunray and give himself attack speed, remove fire spirits. If he's in melee range, he can definitely kill the egg early. Plus, they have Beastmaster Aura, so this guy's going to be attacking way faster than normal. So I like that part. Decent against line, sort of.
Yeah, so there was the No Diggity game yesterday, which went like nearly 50 minutes, which they went Veno, Invoker, Earthshaker, Slut. That gave Newbee a little bit of thought. They struggled a little bit early game on that, but eventually ran out fairly convincing winners. But
Super straightforward puck ban here since it's in
and then eHome picked the. They do the tiny techies in the third game, I think, as a qualifier, which also threw them off their game a little bit.
That was eHome.
Yeah, they actually
That was
did.
eHome, yeah.
They did really well the first
Tiny
10
techies.
minutes. Got a lot of kills with it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, it was really good. I think they got the suicide level 1 as well.
Yeah, he got so many kills.
Yeah.
But then I stopped
but
watching
they still
it.
haven't been beaten. I mean, they've been thrown a little bit by some of these curveballs that teams have thrown at them. They haven't been
I think
beaten.
that's the way to do it, though.
Yeah.
Curveballs.
Set them off their game.
You guys are on the cheese or nothing train now.
No.
That's what it sounds like.
Let's just cheese them to end the run.
No, I'm still on the train of picking heroes that will infect their movement. So, for example, an IO would be good. Obviously, there's no IO, no bounty on, but heroes that make them aware that they have to be careful while going outside the map. I think Newbee's biggest strength, next to being able to identify when they're ahead and when they can and cannot do something in the game, is their ability to somehow, and I haven't figured out yet how, get map control almost all the time by making the enemy scared of something that they pick, that they run, that they fight with. And map control so far,
That's their secret.
that might actually be a secret, because he is everywhere all the time.
Yeah. In the Hex, Earthbite makes it so
Weaver.
difficult. I like the Weaver pick. He's actually very good versus Lifestealer.
Oh yeah,
It's
that was a
carry
classic
matchup.
counter, right?
Yep. Lots of physical damage, minus armor, which Lifestealer has trouble with. Not as much so now that he has Armlet, but you can throw bugs on him. You can go invis when you get open wounds. You still run full movement speed. So I really like the Weaver pick. It's valued a pretty good amount in the Chinese scene usually. They do draft him sometimes. Sometimes offlane. Maybe we'll see him carry here.
Yeah, that was actually like when we had all those Chinese qualifiers going on. I remember casting a lot of Weaver games.
Yeah.
pretty good. He's
Yeah,
alright.
very popular in the region.
And Lincoln's is easier to build now, so that is a huge buff to certain heroes like Weaver, who are pretty dependent on him. And in this game specifically, he's going against a Beastmaster, right? You want to have that item.
I like it a lot with the Phoenix too, because even if he gets roared by Beastmaster, Phoenix can just keep him alive with Sunray, and he time lapses. They should be able to run over the team fight at that stage. They can get their opponents to waste a lot of big cooldowns.
Bugs, Phoenix Egg, there's a lot of things you
What do you
want to
attack?
get off of you. And
What happens if you
not
egg click the
attacking heroes
ground?
still.
You just die, I guess. Just nothing to do.
Yeah.
Bane a cool pick, another single target, disable, and lockdown as well. You can grip Phoenix or Weaver. We're definitely lacking some stuns on Newbee now, is one thing. Been okay for Bane right now. Better than CM. Definitely better than CM. This is actually somehow a worse CM game, I think, against Weaver. Almost all CM games are bad CM games, though. Like, there's a very specific set of situations where CM is a good support, and the carries just have to not be very
you never hear
independent.
You never hear like, oh man, that team might have lost, but damn, their Crystal Maiden went off. He almost carried that game for them.
Yeah, it's very rare.
That never happens.
Words you'll
If the
never
Crystal
hear.
Maiden's doing great, it's because the whole team's doing great. So great that their 5-position Crystal Maiden.
I mean,
is going
Curl
off.
played earlier today, and he owned with it
That is
super
true. He did,
bad.
he did.
He just outplayed people, but his spells actually worked, you know? Like, Frostbite was relevant. He wouldn't just get haunted on top of and then just delayed his death by 1.5 seconds, kind of a thing.
Could cancel his ultimate without getting interrupted.
That's true.
Sometimes. The Alchemist.
Okay.
Another hero that will struggle to stay on top of Weaver, but it used to be that Alchemist was actually a bit exposed to physical damage heroes like Weaver because you were low on armor most
But
of the
you
time
say
until you
used to
built
be.
AC. Used to be, but now being Armlet's an item. Armlet's a real good item that gives you plus armor. So
If anything, people should have always built Armlet on Alchemist. And the first time I saw it was the team that Unknown, I believe, that played at Frankfurt. They built Armlet Alchemist. Way back when all the other teams were like Radiance, SNY, stuff like that. It was pretty cool. It definitely solves a lot of Alchemist problems, and it's good this game still. But if Invokers played Quaswex here, I really see a lot of trouble coming to EG's lineup. Like, just the way that they used it in the last game, it seemed like it was impossible to initiate in a lot of ways. And now they've got Phoenix, Sunray on top of that. Even if they do initiate, there's survivability problems that EG's going to have to cut through, and they might not be able to.
Disruptor is probably the best controlling hero they had left. It's usually a free control against Weaver. This actually forces the Weaver sometimes to have to go BKB as well after the Lincolns.
Yeah.
If you're able to get the glimpse in sometime after the Lincolns has been procced, you bring them back into the Static Storm, and that's obviously great for you. Really good long duration hold against that hero, as well as the Invoker. I think it's a strong pickup. It's an Ags hero, but ultimately I still agree with Purge in that it just looks like Evil Geniuses are going to have even more issues than they did last time of actually getting their hands on Newbee.
I mean,
So last pick for Newbee. What are we looking for? Is it a KP Weaver or a How Weaver?
I think it's a Hot Weaver. I think you put a farm into this hero as early as possible against Lifestealer.
it's so good against Beastmaster too. Like, I love it safe lane versus off lanes because you can be a little unpredictable with where you're going to be, and you can just show up and.
Oh.
But what was the best
Okay.
hero left at that point?
Wow.
Okay, so KP, Naga Siren.
Off-lane Naga, possibly aggro try.
So once you finally do get your hands on Newbee, then the Song of the Siren comes in.
Yeah.
Ensnare comes in on Lifestealer.
Yeah.
He's raged up.
Okay. Final thoughts before we go back to the commentary team. Shiva, very quickly.
I want to believe EG normally loses first games, wins after. Maybe EG?
Yeah. Purge?
I'm not the biggest fan of the Naga Siren. I'm gonna say I like EG's draft a little bit better here.
Okay.
I'm not the biggest fan of the Naga Siren either, but it's funny. I like it. Let's go Newbee.
Okay. All right. Little cut up on the panel, just to keep it going all day. I don't think we've had the panel agree with each other on any of the drafts today, so it'll be interesting to see how the draft works out in game 2. Can Newbee keep the run going, or have Evil Geniuses finally got their number? Let's find out with Toby 1.
Thank you very much. Yes, we're back here. Game number 2. Newbee going up against EG. I'm Toby1. This is Blitz. panelists split on the Naga Siren. I saw what this thing did during the China qualifiers for the Manila Major. KP actually reached a point where he became the carry. It was actually unbelievable how farmed he was. I got faith in it, Blitz. Do you believe in the Naga?
I mean, I think Naga, they used to run it for him on MVP Phoenix as well, and that was kind of the idea behind it, but hey, it's more just, I have more faith in Newbee than I do in EG right now. And part of that too is PPD obviously just tweeted that he's food sick. I'm hearing from some people that he's actually getting sick between the games.
Like violently ill.
Yeah, so how are you supposed to play without full use of your captain? Like, this is the guy that's going to be your shot caller, the guy who's going to direct the flow of the game for you, and he can't do his job properly. So that would kind of explain a lot of the reasons why I just looked out of sorts more than anything. Not to take anything away from Newbee, because regardless of anything, Newbee is playing near flawless Dota.
Yeah, it just makes life even harder for Evil Geniuses going up against such a team like Newbee, who are just looking absolutely amazing throughout this event.
It's like somebody wants to see them get to 30. It's like, I think at 30, you're not going to break that record.
Eat like PPD's drink or something?
That's what it's just like, let's get this to 30. At the next series, something bad happens to the next guy.
I sense foul play.
Yeah, at that point, something is up. But
here comes Newbee again.
29 in a row going for it this game.
They keep doing this. Like, every time they come down to this T1 town, they smoke just before they reach it, then they look for an opening. This time AUI is in a good position to stop it. The observer ward is up as well, so he sees Kaka and instantly wants to move down, but they read it. They understand that AUI is down there. However, they do not want to dive underneath the tier 1 tower. So Newbee, they let AUI go, and they'll move throughout the jungle. They'll block the pull point and leave everything else the way it is.
I'm a bigger fan of EG's lineup this game, though. All things considered, I think their lineup has a lot of different ways to win. They have good ways to deal with the Weaver. I think Disruptor is one of the best counters in the game to Weaver in general.
I want to see how the laning phase is going to function, though. Because notice with the lanes of KP, they're going to run Moo in the mid, but it's a safe lane Naga. Icarus dive, not going to be able to steal the rune. So they run off-lane Howl with the Weaver, and then the safe lane Naga Siren, giving KP as much space as he can. Be going up against Bulba, but support could rotate over from Kaka or from Chuan.
Yeah, right now up at top, Bulba is going to block out the lanes. They need a better performance from him in this game. Didn't really look like he was on top of things in the last one, but still, individual performance have to be really good for this type of game. You're already coming in mid, just to ruin Moo's life for a little bit.
Whereas downside about going Exort first, you can't just like survive this attack from Fear.
Yeah.
Especially when he's got Brain Sap. You don't know if the Alchemist will level up Concoction.
This is the most annoying thing I've seen in such a long time. Fear is camped on top of his hill, not moving, not even willing to chase him down. He's just like, I'm the wall. Get through me.
Come at me, bro.
Yeah, look at this. He's just gonna Brain Sap and sit on top of that. Hold position, go watch other stuff on the map.
What does Weaver do? Like, if he attacks him, Fear's just gonna get his life back from the Brain Sap.
Yeah. He's got a null talisman, so he can trade so effectively. This has got to be so frustrating for Moo, because his support can't do this. They've dedicated a lot of their efforts to trying to slow down this lifestealer. When you aggro tri-lane like this, what can you do? The Lion is obviously not going to have nearly the same amount of success as a hero like Bane does. Once again, Fear just walking on top of that high ground cliff, and he is absolutely assuring that Sumail has a good game.
Oh, here comes the Concoction. So Sumail just leveled up. They're going to combine it up with the Nightmare. Sumail lets the throw go and move. In a world of hurt and first blood, it's going to go the way of Fear.
That is awesome. There's no way that they expected Sumail to level up the Concoction in this mid lane. It's almost always that acid cloud. Yeah, and once you play that kind of style enough times, you lull somebody into a false sense of security, but really good awareness by them, knowing that they could kill with the sleep. Setting up for a move, obviously has no defensive abilities whatsoever. Not even Forge Spirits could help him out there if he had them up anyways.
Does this slow down Moo? Like, you see Fear now backing out. He did a quick...
Of course it slows down Moo.
I mean, like, can you stop him in the late game? Like, this is still like 2 minutes in. Like, the Invoker's probably going to catch up anyway.
Oh, yeah, the Invoker will catch up, but it's more about slowing down his timings of things like the Midas and speeding up Sumail's timings. Sumail's already got Soul Ring and Boots. On top of that, he's had a relatively free lane just because Moo can't really contest, and this is a lane that Moo normally should do very well in. At the same time, they're abusing the fact that Newbee's tri-lane is set up at bottom, so they can't really do too much. Even Bulba at top, he's one-on-one against a Naga Siren. What is KP supposed to do in this matchup? He's just going to send 2 boards on him at once.
As long as they Riptide can get rid of those things quickly either. And Sean keeps looking for an opening. This time he's going to find it. It's going to start with a stun into the Hex. AUI, the wall comes up from PPD. Actually keeping Hal almost in range of the tower, just out of range. But Karka doesn't even have Fire Spirits yet, or Sunray, which is, like, we're seeing support Phoenixes actually go for as their first ability, as opposed to Icarus Dive.
AUI at bottom, the Lifestealer is going to be annoyed, but he doesn't really die because he always has the rage up, and they don't have any way to stun or silence. It's more kind of annoying and poking at him. Of course, Chuan is level 2 now. He's got the Hex, but even then, kill potential is kind of low in this lane. You'd have to dive really deep to get anything started here, and with a level 1 Phoenix, I don't think you want to do that pre-Sunray anyways.
Moose gonna be spitting chips. Fear's doing it again. There's your Nightmare, and look at the instant reactions from Newbee. The time it's the double TPs, Concoction Stun will come, and Karka is the only one that actually completes his TP.
It's more just, if you're a mid player, Toby, you hate losing to another mid player. And if you're a mid player and you're getting harassed by some guy who just keeps right-clicking you and you can't do anything back, you are so frustrated. Like you said, he's fuming at this point. He's saying, somebody needs to get here right now, secure my lane. Because the mid roll, it's for the divas.
Yep.
I don't know Moo personally, but I would be not so thrilled with what's happened so far.
At least this now gives Hal a little bit more space on bottom lane. Even if he's just going to play it defensively, just get a little bit more levels, AUI tries to make the most out of the time to harass Hal down. There's still Shikuchi available, and Sean, with the stun, he's still got Hex available too, but then Rage from Lifestealer. They glimpse back Hal, so there's no more chasing. And I think Fear's trying to prepare. Yeah, he prepares with Karka. You're going to start the concoction here from Samael. It's the mag stun time. Karka. Oh, no!
They catch him on the dive.
He tried to actually Icarus dive. If he took the stun, then dived, he might have escaped. Now you give another kill over to EG, and this time it's into the hands of Samael, who just lost his help.
That is a very good start so far for EG in this game, Toby. Talked about having to take the fight to them. They're going to try to go for the lane domination into the snowball win. And so far it's working out. Top Bulba's playing pretty evenly with the Naga Siren. The Alchemist having obviously much better game than the Invoker, and this is not understated whatsoever.
KP seems to be having a lot better time now on this top. Like he's now on top on the CS, and he just keeps taking out the ball. So he creates illusions, takes care of them. Now the Sunstrike, AUI.
It whiffs.
He wasn't even in rage, but you still got the bugs on him, and AUI can't break free of that. Rage or not, so how able to get a revenge kill on the safe laner of EG?
This bottom lane too, there's a lot of offensive potential once Chuan picks up some levels, as you saw right there. They get the easy setup for that. Finally battling back, and they needed that one. If you're going to devote that much to your off lane, you need to be able to get some kills around the map, just because Chuan, he doesn't have the luxury of going back and forth, going to the stack.
Fear, he's making a run in. Moo gonna go with a cold snap on a Fear. He doesn't need the tower turn on the Sunray from Karka. Fear just gonna burn, and maybe, oh, is there enough damage? Yes, there is. Karka can't escape from Samael, however. Concoction will find the kill as Moo being chased out by AUI inside the tree line, but there's more help. Hal rotates in, he'll kill off the Alchemist. Chuan a little bit too late in that TP. Means it'll end up being a 2-for-2 trade-off. Support and mid-core both being traded off.
Yeah, the gold lead change there is relatively negligible as both mids die. In some ways, I think I favor Sumail, just because he's almost already got the armlet and he's doing just fine, whereas the Invoker needs whatever he can get at this point.
I actually thought with a lead like this that Samael would have a lot more than everyone else, but I know we're only 6 minutes in, but he's 500 net worth in front of the Weaver.
Yeah, the Weaver has 2 kills though, and he's got nearly free farm. Of course he's going to have a lot.
Just the Alchemist waiting for the stacks to be done.
Oh,
but Chuan and Hao actually scouted out. They're trying to steal the Alchemist stacks.
This is pretty big for Alf, just because he does rely on this. This is part of what Fear was doing during the time where he was harassing mid.
It's also really good for Chuan. Like, he's getting so many levels from this, so is Karka.
You're limiting the efficiency right now.
Now that EG's TPing over, I think they realize what's going on, but they've lost one stack. Hal, he's still hanging around. Bulba's got Raw, and Hal, he doesn't have Shikuchi, so space has to be created here from Karka. Concoction Sunny time-lapses it off. Shikuchiing away. Sentries are down for the Radiant side, so they can keep that vision over on Hal and glimpse him back over while AUI knocks off the Flaming Bird. They bring their entire team in to take care of that. Get 2 kills, lost the stack.
Well worth it. You get some map control, you finally get the kill on the highest net worth on the enemy team. They're going to be incredibly satisfied with that trade. EG, They're going to have to give up a lot of this damage on this top tower. It already dips to 700 HP. Of course, Bulba had to rotate for the roar, so it's still well worth it. But at some point, KP is going to be a hero that you have to worry about, as NewBee have a very strong tri-core going into the mid-game. The one thing about their lineup, though, Toby, that's a little bit different than the usual ones that I see from them, and a playstyle shift here, is they're not really in fighting shape with what they have right now. Like, Naga Siren's not going to provide a lot for you until she gets some core items, obviously. Hao playing the Weaver. This is a hero that is very item reliant. And this Invoker has just been shut out so hard that NewBee's in a situation where comeback Dota on him, and this is why you should never too much stock into a game 1 of a best of 3. A lot of different things can happen.
You mentioned it perfectly actually in game number 1, but there were, as you said, like there were options in game 1 for NewBee. In this game, like you still can create space. You've still got the Song of the Siren that you can turn to, but obviously being in a position like they were previously, like inside the Radiant jungle behind the tier 1 tower, EG can bring support. You're not going to be able to create space in that situation. But it's still a Weaver as well as Naga Siren having a really good start. And now KP moves to the bottom lane. So should be no more kill potential there. Actually keeping the harassment on the top. How? So quick to move up and down with the Weaver, with time lamps as well as Shikuchi. EG catching him out is going to be rather difficult until they get the Necros up, as well as having Disruptor with the ultimate. And PPD's getting closer to that.
Yeah, once PPD hits 6, that's going to be their kill time for him. And that's a very easy early 6 for them to be able to do so. He's already level 5. If he wants, he could get the Tome of Knowledge at 10. They immediately smoke up, go for a Disruptor kill into the Roar. Really good to be able to get one of the cores too. If you can further slow down Moo, for example, or Hao, that'd be lovely. Killing the Naga Siren might be a little bit difficult, but the other 2 cores are definitely susceptible to any sort of movement from EG. And that's something that NewBee has to worry about, that they're not the ones playing on the offensive for once. They've got 2 cores that can't really get into fighting shape this early on, who can't really provide anything. He was hoping to be able to help out with the Sunstrike kills from across the map, wasn't able to do so. They weren't able to set up on bottom like they wanted to. Obviously, Moo himself had quite the difficult laning stage with Fear being there, getting first blooded. And on top of that, all the Naga really did was trade farm with the Beastmaster.
Yeah. That's one of the fun to think about, the combinations that NewBee can turn to. Like even if it's like Song of the Siren into like Hex and Stun follow-up to hit that Sunstrike, like anything which can get them 1 kill that gets space, because that's kind of what they did up against Secret when they were behind and they didn't really have the opening. They just found these 1 pickoffs, they used their abilities perfectly, just to create a little bit more space, a little bit more time. And with the Naga, Weaver, as well as Invoker going into the late game, I don't know, do you favor that against an Alchemist, knowing how big the Alchemist can get?
The Alch is always going to be okay in a game like this, aside from the Sunray, but he's going to have to scale really quickly. Like, this is an Alchemist that has to get over-farmed. They did commit quite a lot to helping him out there in the mid lane. On top of that, he got First Blood, but with all these things considered, putting a lot on his back. He does have 3 kills, and he is leading in net worth by a handy amount, though.
Yep.
Already at 1,700 gold, too.
Just want to see how they deal with the full split push, as well as the ability to have like great team fights. Because KP normally, when he builds the Naga Siren, he does go for the normal 1 position style build, even if he does give up the safe lane at the moment.
In a game like this, he should. He has every right to.
How?
They gave him the safe lane.
Oh, Shikuchi into the tree line. Kaka wants to come forward, turns on the Sunray. Hao runs in behind him. Bulba gets a little bit of unexpected burst damage. The Sunray's going to finish the job. Sunstrike also would have helped out. And now PPD, he's got level 6. They'll go into the Nova. Samel's a little bit too far away. He comes closer to Walker, but here comes Chuan. The stun, the Nova's going to connect. They're going to lose 3 heroes on the top lane. Chuan picks up a double kill. They make the space beautifully here, NewBee. The 3 hero rotation.
Very well done into that egg. Even if the line doesn't run in there, Samel's going to get 100% double stunned up by both himself and that Phoenix.
It looked like Samel actually thought he could get rid of the egg. Running closer like that.
No, I think he just was like, I have no options anymore. At that point, once you charge a stun like that, you're hard committed. And Hal's running away with his invis, right? So if you get stunned up there, then he just re-engages and chases you. It's a lose-lose situation. Because then the Phoenix just comes out, dives on top of you, starts to channel the Sunray. Can't really do something as an Alchemist there.
So now it's EG who like are on the defensive. Like you got the Hand of Midas, it's 2 minutes later than normal for an Invoker. KP's up to 2.1k gold after farming up the offlane, not to mention the damage going into the tier 1 tower there. And tier 2 towers at just under 500 HP. So EG are being poked and prodded. The Alchemist, however, is still leading the net worth, and they're trying to make a play for mid. Volva moving in around the Hawk, giving vision of Moo inside the tree line until they go invis. The Ghost Walk is there, but they didn't bring the detection with them on the front lines. PPD's got sentry wards. That's all they've got.
This is a move to establish mid control. Just hard to do so. They do pop the Necro Book, so now they've got a frontliner.
They're losing top tier 2 while they do this, though.
Yeah, this is still somewhat okay, though, just because of how valuable this mid tier 1 tower is.
Can they actually do this?
Yeah, Newbee is maybe going to defend this or not. It looks like Hao just continues the push.
Yeah. It might have actually been a little bit different if there was mana over on KP, but he was retreating back with no mana, so they wouldn't have had Song of the Siren available in time before the tower went down.
That's still 2,700 net worth gold built up. KP who getting desperately close to that relic, and all of the gold lead and XP lead is completely shifted on the side of Newbee. Hao just continues to farm up on the other side of the map, and now they've got this tricore that they're going to eventually have to deal with. The Invoker finishes the -2. In a short while, he's going to be able to catch up as well. Of course, Invoker and Weaver don't really do too much until they have their first major items. Even the Weaver sort of needs that Linken's before he can do anything. Even then, they still have the Disruptor. He's quite good against them. They've got grip, they've got plenty of ways to control him. But if it just comes down to an all-out farm war, Newbee have the much greedier cores. Phoenix is one of the best scaling supports in the game. And this kind of move, by the way, Toby, this is, let's get a kill, delay even further.
Yep. Off Kaka at the moment, being initiated on AUI, but the kill you're talking about is the smoke maneuver coming in from Newbee. It's also like they smoke up 4 seconds before Finger of Death comes off. So Newbee know they have enough damage if anyone wants to try and defend the tier 1 tower. If they don't defend the tier 1 tower, you may not find a kill, but you take out the tier 1 tower and then establish more control in Radiant jungle.
Again, that's just one of those plays which comes naturally, right? Play around your cooldowns. Before your cooldowns are up, already start moving. It's not that you wait till 0 seconds and then you start moving.
Okay.
He's just poking.
He actually took both the last hits then.
Yeah, that's good.
I think he was maybe even like hoping he could hit Sumail on a bad armlet toggle time.
Nah, that would be very unrealistic.
That would be like the dream.
Maybe you could get the Sunstrike. Maybe they get that kill if they can get the stun. Possibly has to lead with the Hex first.
Bottom tower is under attack.
Then Hao has to be, or Moo has to be completely prepared for that. But top though, they're going to send the Naga Siren to deal with this. 2,500 gold and the rest of the fleet completed already. Not willing to show himself though in case there's somebody waiting up there, which there is of course the spheres down here.
Does he even need to show himself? Like you just keep using your illusions.
You shouldn't, because if nobody's defending bottom...
They find PPD. Oh, Sunstrike's right position. No Finger of Death required. Actually, no mana from Chuan to actually use it. So EG now on the hump. New puts up the ice wall, but Bulber and Sumail, they come in from a different angle. But they're already out. Dawn needs to find a creep to get something off. Why are these minions killing each other?
This has got to be frustrating for EG because they rotated a bunch of heroes down, which is going to tell Newbee nobody's up at top. At most, there's one hero up there, which they're going to verify with AY showing himself on the map. So KP is not going to feel really free to farm his jungle out. And it's just about delaying for Newbee. Even with the greedier cores and heroes that can't really fight Toby, they're still taking it to them every single engagement once they have those cooldowns up. Swan doesn't even have to use the finger there.
It's unbelievable they can keep doing this. Now they restrict the areas where Sumail can farm. Sumail's actually moved himself up to top lane now.
Bottom tower is under
and is this EG are pretty grouped up. They're going to smoke and go. They finally got rid of that Observer Ward.
Two-man combo could be really deadly for them if they set up properly.
They're leaving. How just TP'd up to top lane? Oh, that's the two-man combo you're talking about. Chuan, where's the Hex? There's your Hex. And with also the double damage over on Hao, they should have enough to get through AUI. Remember, he's still got Infest available. Concoction arriving from Sumail. Damage on the Chuan is quite high. Hao still actually has a time lapse. So he's able to kill off the Life Stealer and repair a large amount of damage. Back in mid lane, Song of the Siren from KP is off. PPD got the ulti off, but he's just buying time for Moo to get back under the tower. They trigger a drum charge, and now in also comes the Phoenix. Kaka to the front lines, lets the Nova off. PPD right underneath it, but he can't do anything. He can glimpse Moo away, but the Invoker has already found the kill.
Bubble's gonna get caught out too by Hao from behind. The Arcane Rune does more than enough damage with that Blightstone. That's going to be the Lincoln soon for Hao, and everything starts to fall apart.
You know what's the crazy point of the game? When you get hardly any advantage from killing off 3 heroes of EG. And now they actually take out Roshan, so obviously that's the advantage with the bigger one they get, but the golden experience doesn't even start to spike at all.
I'm starting to sort of become convinced, Toby, that Newbee can win with whatever lineup in the mid game.
Are you almost like going back to like Alliance, like TI3 kind of style? It doesn't matter what they draft, their synergy is just so good.
This is one of the more diverse lineups I've seen in terms of what they can play. Of course, you see the Lion on Chuan very frequently, but it seems like everybody else is just playing a lot of different cards in their wheelhouse. And
Can you say they're even out of their comfort zones? Because almost every single hero here, like you're saying before, like KP, even his hero is something he's very used to. Everyone seems to be on something which they've played a lot in the past.
That's part of when you're really gelling as a team and you just believe anything can work for you at this point. That's confidence, and that's confidence born of having won 8 games in a row.
I think it's 28, soon to be 29.
I wouldn't count EG out yet. Alchemist still has a really good deal of farm.
True.
And he can give a lot of relevant ags like the Disruptor Aghanims. And EG still have a lot of team fights, it's just they're losing a lot of leeway in terms of map control. And everyone is getting farm on the side of Newbee right now.
Oh, they try and force in the bottom lane. Karka a little bit too early with the Sunray. He's just trying to help keep Hao alive. He's currently feeling Immortal, mainly because he's got the Aegis of the Immortal.
Yeah. And EG so far, they haven't been able to get any of their major ultimates off. No Fiend's Grips, no Static Storms or Roars used in quite a while, and I think that's the more troubling sign right now, is that Newbee are using their cooldowns whenever they come up.
Yep.
EG are not able to.
So that's the crazy, like, you're talking like Static Storm, like one was used in the mid lane, but it was instantly countered by the Song of the Siren.
Yeah.
So, ineffective ultimates as well. And now Newbee, they group up. It's a 3-man smoke down mid. They've got a rotation coming in from Hao. He's looping it around through the Radiant shot. And then they have the Naga Siren, so everyone is here. 4 heroes. The Sentry is down, but the Lincoln Spear will trigger PPG. He's still got the ult, he doesn't know what target to throw. He'll end up throwing it on Chuan, but the front line damage is just so much. They have been squeezed in this mid lane. At least you get a double kill out here from AUI. The KP is still on the run. They've also got Song of the Siren, so they can keep on diving, and Hao wants to. They, again, reaching almost tier 4 towers. Armor Toggle will allow Hao to survive. As Hao then time loops back outside the base, Song of the Siren from KP. Now they reset, they disengage, and retreat out. So it was ending up just being a 2-for-2 trade-off.
Yeah, still very good by EG. Any sort of trade at that point is going to be okay. They didn't lose any core outside of Bulba, and they were finally able to take a fight, even with the Aegis on the side of Newbee. And so EG are going to reset a little bit more. You continue to get your Alchemist farmed. Not the worst fight for either side, but definitely could have been a lot worse for EG with that Aegis plus that Song up, as AUI is gonna kind of just fool around here. They're farming in front of each other, but Hao had the Lincolns triggered. Probably not gonna go for anything more.
It's funny he does that too when time lapse is off cooldown. Is on cooldown. I'll say he doesn't even care when he has an Aegis. With the movement from EG as well to try and contest him from taking out Ancients, Mu takes the tier 2 tower and bot. This map control is just so good for Newbee. Aggressive ward placements. They can look for a new target. With a Blink Dagger over on Chuan, the initiation is even better. And they wait for PPDs in so close. Hao starts Shikuchi over. They need EG to come a little bit closer before they can find that kill. I still love too, like, this entire fight almost feels like, the entire movement of the Radiant side feels like it's 4-on-5. Because KP, he spent majority of his time on the Dire side of the base.
Pretty much has been so far. Naga Siren countering out a lot of what, whatever push the Alchemist can go for Toby. Does have the Manso style completed, so he's in okay fighting shape as EG. They might actually just fight Kaka here.
Caught inside the ultimate. Hao makes his run through as well, so he knows what's going on, but they get the trigger Lincoln and they get the Fiend's Grip off. This is big for EG. They burned the Aegis the Immortal. But Chuan, ready with his blink. Is there a line? So he actually misses on absolutely everything. AUI now actually capitalize on it. Chuan will drop. Hao is still running out of here, however. They bring down the Phoenix, they bring down the Lion. And that is the first big opening EG have kind of, I kind of feel has happened from Newbee. Like Newbee giving him the space to do this.
Yeah, one of the few mistakes that I've seen Chuan make throughout this entire day, just YOLO running through, but he has to realize EG, they mop him up real quickly. Without a 4-staff on him, not able to reset the blink, they take him down so quickly. And Newbee just weren't in fighting shape.
Yep.
KP wasn't willing to come there. Exactly.
The Invoker wasn't there either. He was busy farming up his Ags.
That's a lot of heroes that weren't ready to fight, and that's the first time Newbee has not immediately just been like, okay, we're going to take this fight.
Yep. Almost like an afterthought. PPD going to finally get rid of this Observer Ward, the Radiant Jungle, where he's just being watched like a hawk the entire time. Been one of the most warded positions of this game so far. What are you up to, Hal? Can sphere up on him, he runs after Bulba. Doesn't actually get the damage with Shikuchi, but Bulba stands his ground trying to get rid of this. I think he's hoping for more, but it's going to be Moo. AUI, is there any kind of stun? Hex, Noob. Now Rage will protect with the TP out from AUI.
Yeah. Good escape by him is Newbee try to get control of the Radiant jungle. G then going to play on the north side of the map as Sumail's going to push things out.
What is PPD? Oh, he's coming in behind. They're going to try and have a move at Hal.
Static Storm is very good for this.
Sentry's down, but he time-lapses out. They still have the control though. They've got Bean's grip. They can hold Hal here. They won't even require it. The Beastmaster Roar does enough of the work. And he was so close to completing up the Death Zone.
That was a lose-lose situation, Toby. He had absolutely nowhere to go. EG just sandwiching him in. Very well done by
Smell.
PVT.
Concoction prep. Karka gonna just Icarus dive away over the hill. So there's no way EG can catch up to him.
Does seem like EG's okay with this pace so far, though. Even with KP getting farmed, because their Alchemist continues to scale himself.
It's just the fact they're still so far behind, even with an Alchemist on them, because they're 4k net worth in arrears.
The XP, though, is starting to finally become okay. And this Lifestealer is going to be quite good against the supports of Newbee. You notice that he goes to the Deso. He's already got his Blink. The Rage can deal with a lot of things that Newbee can throw at him. And ultimately, EG's two supports are very good against the cores that Newbee have so far. The Static Storm being one of the best support spells against this Naga Siren, one of the few that can consistently catch her out. Usually when you initiate on a Naga, obviously, high amount of mobility coupled with the Song of Siren, but silence is being very good against her, and even more than that, AoE silence is being very good against her.
This is not the fight you were looking for, Newbee. Starts to drain the mana out of Sumail. They're bringing in more support, and EGR here in force. At the same time, the tier 2 tower in the middle lane's being pushed out, so is the top lane, so Newbee are comfortable in positions to try and defend this bot lane. And they do bring everybody. Moo's preparing himself, KP still got Song of the Siren, AUI hanging on the sidelines, they start the initiation over on Sumail, AUI just runs in, goes to Icarus dives, and they get the drop down Sumail. They want more, the Nightmares on Weaver stopping his attack on the PPD. So they're able to disengage the tier 1 tower. Oh wait, no, AUI, he blinks up, he was infested, now starts the Rage TP out, they don't have a stun, they don't have anything. So Sumail will be the only casualty of war from that fight.
They had to blow a lot of cooldowns though on the side of Newbee, and EG walk away with just one casualty. If Newbee were able to get that invoke, I was about to say that invoker because of that fortune, but if they were able to get that Lifestealer, that would have been well worth it for Newbee, but they commit a lot of different cooldowns for that. All they get is Sumail. Probably not the worst case scenario for EG, but during this time period, while your Alchemist is dead, even worse for Alchemist is to die, just because of the high net worth that he brings to the table. All of the death cost going to be quite high for him. More importantly, it's just time that he's not farming.
Oh, Beastmaster Roar, they're able to catch out Hal inside the Radiant jungle. So you can say goodbye to the Weaver, and you're also going to say goodbye to the Phoenix, AUI, with now a Blink Dagger. The old classic way to try and reduce that distance and not get kited. He's able to pick that one up. But you're starting to get more and more items on the other Newbee cores. Before he died, Weaver still did pick up the Desolator, and you've got KP with a Manta Style on him.
He needs a BKB now though, if they're going to take any sort of fight. You see that how, even with this considerable net worth bleed over a lot of these heroes, goes down very quickly. And now you see even the Lifestealer leapfrog over a lot of these heroes, despite the fact that, for example, if the Invoker has that Midas, and it just comes down to the Lifestealer taking a lot better fights. But like you said, Naga Siren is in a good position, has the Manta Style completed for herself.
And Moo just finished up a Blink Dagger, so they got his jump on the field. Everything could just start to slow down for a bit. 13 on the kills. The experience is almost back at 0. The gold advantage is still leaning in the way of Newbee. Now EG have now turned to the power of the Ancients. Black Dragon from the Lifestealer. The way AUI can start this push.
Looks like for a second they wanted to set up for Roshan, but I do not think their team can take that fast enough, and instead it looks like they're going to go for the team fight at bottom. Might actually find the angle, but if you look at EG's wards...
Ooh, they just smoked.
Yeah, EG has way superior ward vision right now. They know exactly where Newbee are. When you have ward vision like this, you want to take this kind of fight.
It's also having an Ancient on the front line. It's AUI trying to cause some problems. How has his Lincoln's triggered? They get the roar over on Karka. There's not enough mana to get his Nova off, so KP needs to stop the fight. You can still have AUI run in because he's in the ancient form, looking to attack over on Chorn, but the double stun, Chorn may have to just sacrifice himself. He can't blink himself away while Samel's hopping his tail, and AUI blinks forward, so yep, there goes your Lion. But instantly Newbee, they accept the fact that Chorn is dead, they push up top, they push towards mid.
That's still, again, another example of Newbee just being a little bit off their game, or maybe EG forcing them on their game. I think Newbee are way too used to being much more ahead this position in the game with what cores that they have, and Chuan sets up for the fight, but nobody else from Newbee wants to take that fight because they can't have the egg up.
Almost kind of looked like Chuan was going to fall on the sword for Newbee. Understand that that fight was over.
If they thought that from the beginning, why not just run away?
True. On with an Aegis Immortal now in the hands of EG. Well, it's more protection for Samael. Like he's about to finish up the Octarine in 400 gold, so he will not have buyback available. I say that for an Alchemist, so buyback won't be too far off. But they're just being poked and prodded on every side. Like, can you even achieve something with this Aegis? You want to force down a lane, you're just going to get split pushed out. Like, if Mu also finishes up BTs, he's going to be just as much of a problem as KP is on the map.
I still want to be able to take fights. You can just push lanes out with the Alchemist, which is what Samael is doing right now. Just continue to farm out. He's got the Octarine core, like you mentioned. The Aegis available, I think they do want to try to frontline him. Newbee so far have been finally playing back against a team in these team fights too. I think they understand we're not that far ahead.
Yeah.
Whatever gold lead that they once had, 2000k or 2k.
Yeah. The experience is gone too.
Yeah, that was one of the bigger things, is that they were doing so well in the XP region, especially with the Naga Siren. Just because Naga is going to be one of those cores that is under-leveled, simply due to the fact that she's not going to be farming with her illusions, obviously, not getting XP from those.
And for a very long time, we haven't really felt the effect of Chuan. No initiations on the field, it's just back up, farm up, pacify the game, make it so EG wastes this Aegis time.
This is a radically different game than we normally see on Chuan. Because part of the problem is his normal ganking buddy is KP, and KP really can't help him out in a game like this.
Yeah, because KP, like, this is the 3 core, right? This is just when you end up sacking your 5th so hard. I say that when he's still approaching a 4-staff, but it's not the bash squad. In fact, you almost can you just make it so? Oh, hello, that's not good. Can you just make it so Moob becomes his bash partner? Like, you work with the Invoker,
I guess.
and then KP actually plays like the raw 1, and you use the Weaver as. You just keep farming him up until he completes that BKB.
He really needs a BKB. Pretty much everybody needs a BKB in a game like this.
If he gets the BKB, like Disruptor's not even going in for an Aghanim Scepter, so he will still remain effective. You can soak up at least the Fiend's Grip and Beastmaster Raw.
Yeah.
And give space for the other cores to work around.
Fiend's Grip, though, it's going to be a lot harder to get off just because Fear's in a position where he doesn't want to overcommit too hard, positioning-wise.
I suppose too, if he also Fiend Scripts, you're just going to Naga Song, you got Blink Hexes, you got a lot of things to disable him.
Yeah. And Mu, bottom, he's just going to push out this wave. EG still looking pretty good right now. This Alchemist is steadily starting to get ahead, which is what you want to see out of Alex. Obviously, they're very good Aghanim Scepter upgrades to be had on his team too.
Don't remember the last time I saw Lifesteal get out of this this Black Dragon. But he defends the bottom push from Newbee and EG. Now they open up on that tier 2 tower on top lane. The only thing Alchemist is kind of missing in this big...
They're setting up for bottom. Maybe if they have the initiation, but Chuan
quick rage.
Second too late.
Quick rage. So tier 2 tower drops. That tier 3 tower takes minimal damage. And Alc is still getting more and more farm. Aetherlens is also now completed over on PPD if he wants to disassemble, which he will do so. Is this the point where you actually want to finish up like the AC over on the Alchemist, or is it worthwhile actually buffing up your teammates?
I think it's worthwhile buffing up one of your teammates. The Disruptor Ag's ulti obviously being one of the best upgrades in the game. It's just, at the end of the day, you're almost always playing Disruptor, so you can't really do too much. But being able to stop a lot of these items would be incredibly helpful.
Actually, I only just checked after that. He bought up the AC. Or most of the actually no, that's AUI who built the AC.
Yeah, it's gonna be AUI that's building his AC. He already had Hyperstone going in. No
So-
reason to get both.
So what does Samel then build into afterwards? Because normally it's just the Assault Cuirass as his last one.
You can go for Shivas.
Work.
Does need an armor item, pretty bad.
Is it worth actually getting a little bit more lockdown? Like potentially like Abyssal Blade up against Hal?
I don't really think so, just because of the fighting style of Alchemists with this kind of build anyways. You're more about playing around your illusions and not so much rolling in and hard committing, because at that point then you would have to get a BKB yourself. That's an item that you sort of want to avoid. I kind of think that even going for a Shiva's Guard at this point is not the worst thing.
Geoforming up again on bottom lane. But Naga Illusions moves forward, doesn't get the Riptide off quickly, and AUI already commits open wounds. KP, he doesn't TP to the bottom lane, in fact he TPs in towards the mid so he can send his illusions down the mid and then rotate over to bottom. There's fortification from Newbee so they can stall this up a little bit, but not too much, and in fact they're not going to stall it up at all. They're just, like the tier 1 tower is going to drop anyway. They're not looking to fight.
Yeah, I was just pushing out top. He's saying to himself, why bother? We can try to force somebody back, play, make them play reactionary Dota.
Oh, Invoker wants them to come back too. We just picked up an Arcane Rune over on Aghanim's Invoker.
Aegis does fade on Samel though. So there's going to be a time period where EG, they maybe not going to look for this fight quite yet. Samel just continues to rack up the gold. 6,000 gold already built up on him. As it looks like it is going to be the Shivas. Yay!
Love it when you're right, Blitz.
Item builds, guessing item builds is like the lowest hanging fruit. Don't do that.
Oh. Cautioning to try and get rid of damn illusions on the top lane. But it's Karka who's the one who's in a little bit more peril. Bulba, the blink came, they're going to glimpse it back over. So Karka, he goes into Nova, but that's very easy to deal with when you got 4 heroes on all sides of it.
He did not stare at that sun long enough.
There's the BKB from Hal. So he's got his BKB.
Okay, that is the fighting item number 1. But you're still in a position where your Phoenix is dead. He doesn't have egg for another 90 seconds.
And with an with an BKB Alchemist up against a Diffusal Blade Naga, I think it's going to be a little bit harder for him to keep up with the fights.
No,
Maybe not so much for Lifestealer.
He just keeps, he'll power through it. He just Shivas, clears the illusions. He's going to be fine.
Looks like EG will be able to take out that bottom tower. Negative 12 armor on it to just try and rip through. And then a quick infest into Bulba.
They still have Roar available. And more importantly than that, there's no Phoenix egg. I think EG still want to take a fight if they can.
The only issue is the side lanes. Like top lane's still pushing in, and Sumail's going to come back to defend it. All right. So how long can this go on? Like EG are poking and prodding on all sides. They seem to be getting more and more map control back again. But it doesn't look like any team is clearly moving ahead. Like, should there even be a plan for it? Like, because Newbee is farming up these battle items you're talking about.
It's weird because Newbee feels comfortable about the pace of the game because they have a Naga. And EG's feeling comfortable about the pace of the game because their heroes continue to scale.
So we continue to be at a point where everyone is happy to farm.
Yeah, everyone just seems really content to farm. EG obviously being a little bit happier because they're the team finding these mini one-off pickoffs. And whenever you get those, you're going to be incredibly happy. Whenever the pace of the game slows down, get a kill, reset the game.
First Ags.
All right, who's it going to?
It is going to go to drumroll, please. It is
Disruptor.
Ba-boom. Nope, it is Beastmaster.
Huh.
It is the Beastmaster Ags upgrade. So PPD is not the lucky one.
I guess the cast range is phenomenal. On the Primal Roar, it almost fits my entire screen, but still, you would have liked to see that. For example, if they could get the pre-BKB jump onto the Weaver, just drop your ultimate on top, he can't BKB, pop the Lincolns, immediately kill him. That is only 1700 HP that he has to deal with, and well, we're gonna look for it.
Jump
the Necro
to give him the vision, but the BKB came up from Hal. He'll timeless back over, and Fear is waiting for him. He gets the grip. AUI blinks forward, so Hal will go down. The Sunstrike will connect on Fear, but there's just no rebuttal from Newbee. I say no rebuttal when I see Naga Illusions pushing in the bottom lane, pushing in the mid lane, pushing in the top lane. Even when they get a kill, they don't create space.
That is still a lot of rotations for that Weaver, but at the same time, he did pop his BKB. You got to kill on one of the higher net worth heroes in the game, and so the slow, rigid pace from both teams. Again, all of these micro engagements are going to start adding up for EG, Toby.
As long as they can keep them going and then eventually have some kind of like pushback. The Alchemist will spend a little bit more money on himself, but at this rate of farm, like you don't even care about the nerf that happens to the Alchemist. He's just going to keep buying up Aghanims, and every single person on EG actually has an Aghanims upgrade. Even if we're going to include the Lifestealers one.
Yeah. I don't know if the Lifestealers is as cool as the other ones, but...
Bane and Disruptor seem to have a lot better ones than the Lifestealer. Alright, so Roshan's up, scattered out by Newbee. Ancient running. Also, everyone kind of sees everything on the map. The decision-wise, okay, is Newbee gonna... Yeah, they're coming down now. All 5 heroes converge on Roshan. AUI is actually here at the pit. They just have to get through the Ancient Black Dragons, the only downside. Okay, AUI jumps out, and now in comes the fight. It's a nice ulti from PPD, but Hal is the only one caught inside of it actually with that BKB. He just keeps fighting, and Focus already killed off Beastmaster. The Phoenix Egg will also drop down. You've lost 2, you've lost 3. EG is trying to retreat out. Fear gets stunned up by Karka, and then burnt by the sun. Sumail is the last man standing on the front lines. He's got so much life. He looks for the stun, he'll TP out. Is there? Yes, there is. The Song and the Siren from KP, isolating out Sumail so we can go for another net up, and Sumail, he tries to battle it out. Toggle your heart out, Sumail. He'll go for the stun over on KP. Almost the Sun Rays there. How's on his tail. The bug is down. He'll finally get his armor back as well as the Chemical Rage. How keeps the chase going? They can't kill him. They have to give him up. The Alchemist will survive even though the rest of the EG are currently fertilized to the ground.
That is so many heroes that were trying to hunt him down. He had every different way to be able to catch up to him, but still manages to get out of that one. That is just the power of the Alchemist. Gotta respect that hero, but still an incredibly successful fight for Newbee where they drop the Disruptor ulti, but it's on Hal who just pops the BKB, and Hal just kind of makes his move right back on top of them. G in a position where a lot is still onto this Alch. Like he's just gonna have to start giving away Aghanim Scepters.
Right, KP built into not exactly what I thought he was going to, but it's a Skadi for the Naga Siren as his 6th slot item, holding on to the Diffuser Blade. We'll see if it actually helps him right now on bottom lane. How's on the run. Chuan gonna force staff him away, and then Sumail picked up by the Tornado. Bulba goes for the Roar and actually has the Roar trigger the Lincoln Spear on the Invoker. So they've lost that big ultimate of theirs. Obviously there's still the upgrade, so it's not lost for too long. As everyone is around Roshan.
That's going to be the next major objective for Newbee is EG. They don't want to give it up, but at the same time, Newbee, they want to fight around it. They've got Egg up, they got Song of the Siren. Why bother not taking this fight? Newbee have every advantage. At the same time, EG can't really afford to just give up an Aegis. Trying to look for a fight around this pit. If they can open up on one of the 2 cores or this Phoenix.
Well, Fear's so close with Bulba and AUI.
They're going to wrap around though.
This is actually so easy for EG to do because you can just beat
it really quickly.
Wow, they actually done it?
Yeah, EG's got to respond to this instantly. They're starting to ping out. I think they start to realize what's going on, but...
They're waiting for the kill. They're not waiting for Roshan.
A Song of the Siren already popped for this, and I think EG is surprised at the speed at which they did that at. Like, Newbee had no hesitation. I thought for a second they were going to go for the wraparound play, reminiscent of TI2 the play, but instead, it's just, let's go into Roshan, Alacrity Weaver, take this really quickly. Cure it with the Song of the Siren, which is already almost off cooldown.
How's having a little bit of indecision. He actually bought an Eagle Song and then sold it. Picks up a Hyperstone instead. They find themselves a target. It's going to be Sumail. Isolated inside the Dire Jungle. Chuan needs to get that set up and get away. They go instantly into the Nova. With Meteorite dropping Chuan, he triggers the cheat, so we get a little bit more life for Sumail. Locked inside the Ice Wall. Finger of Death plus the stun. Sumail can't get out of it. Down for 90 seconds. I suppose that's one way to kill off Sumail. Have all your abilities and all your players with no one from EG there. Way to kill Sumail.
Even the Phoenix Egg is committed for that one. They wanted to make absolute sure. I think they realized that he's just the living embodiment of tank when they were trying to kill him the first time around there. So they said, rather overcommit for this guy than let him get away once again. This is going to be their avenue to go continue to push. They might catch...
He is far enough out.
Not going to get anybody out of this, but again, it cost them nothing. KP's Cooldown is just a short 40 seconds away. Newbee start to TP heroes in. At the very least, they want to force the buyback. They still have the Aegis available.
53 seconds.
Finally an
until he
opening
is
for Newbee.
Where is that buyback? Hal's already brought that mid-tier 3 tower down to 1/3 of its life. And he just keeps going again. They give him the extra Lincoln Spear off move, and now your buyback comes in from Sumail. The roar from Bulba, the initiation, Karka, still no Nova to work with, and you don't have Song of the Siren on cooldown for another 11 seconds, but how BKB triggered, look for your extra stuns, but now they can't. Sumail, if they can kill him again, a dieback would be huge, but they can't do it. Karka was isolated on the back line.
Oh, he's fucking insane right now.
The Aegis is going nuts, Sumail being thrown, and KP stops the fun. AUI under the rage, he can still have some fun. They drag him back. KP, he just can't escape, but the rest of his team will be able to disengage.
Unbelievable. They try to isolate out Sumail, but they simply just do not have the damage for this guy. And meanwhile, the rest of his team just rip into them as AUI covers the back line for his friend. And without the egg up, no way that Newbee can take that fight.
They still took out the tier 3 tower, and that's... Is that Newbee pushing in a little bit too early? Without these abilities, going high ground seems to be insanely risky, or do they just have enough confidence to bail out before Alchemist could have a presence?
I think they knew that the Alch was going to buy back, but they probably just wanted to force it and reassess the situation because they had the Aegis on Weaver. That's still an okay fight to take. You just want a fairly big fight, but they forget to realize is you need the Phoenix Egg more than anything. That's going to be one of the easiest ways to deal with the Alchemist if you can force him to hard commit, or if you can stun him up while he goes to the egg, because that's a no BKB Alchemist. It's very easy to kite him around. But without that, without the extra stun, without the damage from the Sunray,
yeah, I didn't have enough to work with.
Yeah, that Sunray does the most work on the Alchemist by far. That's where he's taking the majority of the damage from. They can't really forget about his contribution to the fight.
Can't believe how much money AUI has. Alchemist is also in another position where actually Sumail, okay, initiation, Karka, Warriors has Song of the Siren from KP. He actually turns it off even though AUI was nearby. And Moon, he has to make some space here. They're losing too much. The Naga, 4-star up, almost up the hillside. He's doing enough damage. He's healing up while it's all going on. PBD on the backline, going to be torn apart by Hao and KP. He just keeps running. AUI will blink forward to take him now, but Bulba's now in trouble with Hao behind it. A double kill from him. Sean doesn't have a lot of mana to work with, but still enough to get the stun over on Sumail. That AUI, one hit will do the work. Now the Nova will go out, but will it be enough? Mooney to stop these attacks coming to the Nova. Can connect. It will! AUI and Sumail stunned up. Now into the Sumail
buyback. You can't afford it down.
It's gone! There's no buyback available! Newbee, a huge fight for them. It looked a little disastrous at the front, but they spent so much time chasing KP.
100 seconds without their lead farmer. And it looked like for a second EG was going to be able to do it. They forced the buyback out of Kaka, but that egg, you have to go back to watch how close that was. That had to have been a quarter of a hit away, but instead it pops at the last second, stuns up everybody. EG now in a position where they have to hold without their lead farmer.
How do you do that? You're gonna lose Rax guaranteed.
It's about not losing more than that, as Moo's gonna TP in. He has 5,000 gold. Buybacks available. They're gonna have to hold this against so many different buybacks on the side of Newbee. As they could just boots of travel back in.
There's no fortification as well. You can almost use Song of the Siren at this point just to guarantee your attack.
Yeah, KP used the buyback too, so if EG can somehow take a fight.
AUI is the first one forward, triggers off the rage to get the roar over on Moon. Lot of structure up in the air, can't throw the ulti down until now. KP's there, Hal locked inside the Fiend's grip of fear. They hold him there, but AUI is losing too much life and so is Bulba. They're both down, no buybacks available anymore. He'll bring it out from the Bane, but the tier 3 tower's dropping, and EG, they're dropping like flies. PPD, as well as Fear, they are no match for this 5-man line from Newbee, and they're coming in, they're looking for more. PPD, KP wants it, he'll be glimpsed away. PPD almost dies from that, but they find the bigger one as well. It's going to be Fear dropping down. KP's back for round 2, he'll go for the Diffuser Blade. They're all dead, no one's alive from EG. They're going to get negged right now from Newbee, and the punishing time, it was one death from Sumail, but they have been punished so hard, they've probably just lost the game.
Looks like it's going to be 29 in a row. EG not going to be the team to stop this. As right now, we're just counting if anybody can take a game off of them at this point, let alone a series.
Sumail welcomes back to the world of living and return to the underworld from whence you came. He is down, and GG. 29-25, Newbee will take it in 45 minutes, a clean sweep. The streak continues, and they will go through into the winner's bracket. as the #1 seed out of their group, joining Team Liquid, the only other team to achieve that so far earlier today, and meaning EG to play more games tomorrow.
That is... Okay, you just ran up against a freight train of a team that will not be denied another win. I mean, I'm actively rooting for somebody to just take a game off of them at this point, not even the series. I don't want to get my hopes up that hard, it's just somebody take a